Hello and welcome back for another Trinity Stamps video. This is Cassie. As we've been doing all week, we are celebrating our super talented Dani from Love Dani Studios. So let's go ahead and talk about the products that we're going to be using today. I have the It's Okay stamps and dies. I love this one by Love Dani. I love them all actually, and I have a ton of them. We're also going to be using the Slimline chicks. This one is a recent release. We've got the little chicks we're going to be stamping up along with a couple of sentiments. And then we're going to be making a mini Slimline. So we've got the clean and simple panels, and we also have the mini Slimline card and envelope die. So let's go ahead and get to our stamping. I have a piece of Express-It cardstock that I've put into my MISTI, and then I'm going to ink up the stamps that are on my door just using a little bit of Blackout ink. This is perfect for Copic coloring, so I'm just going to ink those up, and then once I'm happy with that, I will close the door of my MISTI and we'll have some perfectly stamped images. And if you don't, that's why we're using a MISTI, so we can restamp if we need to. So now that those are done, let's go ahead and get started with our coloring. I love coloring these Love Dani Studios images. They're easy to do, and I know that the rest of the Trinity Stamps team has probably showed you some really amazing things to do with these stamps, some other ways to use them, and but I just love coloring them. It's like all I'm doing with these skinnier letters is I'm just using the very tip of my Copic and coloring all of those up. This word is a little bit thicker, so I'm going to do an ombre effect on it. So I've started with my V15, and then I'm going to come in with my V17 just to add a little bit darker. And so I'll just use a flicking motion. I actually do the ombre quite a bit when I am coloring the Love Dani Studios line. It's just one of my favorite things to do. Now I'm going to come in with a YG21. We're going to put that in all the little openings of each of the letters, and then we're also going to try and give it a little bit of a shadowed effect. So I'm just putting that around the letters where I think a shadow might look good, more on that right hand side and the bottom part of each letter. And then I'm going to come in with a lighter color just to blend that out a little bit. So we've got some G20, and I started off using the bullet nib, but with all of my original markers, I have gone and gotten rid of the chisel nib and added a brush nib to it because I just love the brush and I never end up using the chisel. So I'm adding just a little bit of areas here and there, and then we'll move on to our chicks. So I've got some B63. I like to color the eggshells, or usually any white object, a little bit different. Sometimes I'll do it with like a very light purple, sometimes I'll do them with a gray, or sometimes I'll do it even with a blue, but I love how that looks when you do it a little different. So we've got some Y00 for our chick for starters, and then I am going to use two more colors. We've got YR31, just adding shadowing and shading where I think it would look good, and then I will even come in with some YR12, and then I'll go back and blend that out with my YR31, and then come in with my Y00, I think. No, maybe I don't. Now I'm going to bring in some more YRs for his beak, or their beaks. So we've got that YR12 again, and then we're going to use the YR14 just to add a little bit darker color. Now I will run this through my die cutting machine because I do have the matching die for this particular one, and then I'll fussy cut out the other two. I want to build a frame. Let me apologize. I had my camera all zoomed in and didn't realize it until it was a little bit too late, but I cut out that scallop using the mini Slimline card and envelope, and then I used the mini clean and simple panels to cut that center out. I stamped out a couple of sentiments and then used another die from the Slimline card and envelope die to cut those out. And then now I'm going to attach down my frame. I've already attached down my sentiments. I just kind of wanted to make sure where those would fit. This cardstock that you see on the background, that one is just some pattern paper I had in my stash that I cut down to 3 inches by 6 inches. Because we're using making a mini Slimline, the whole front of our card will be 3 inches by 6 inches. I'll use some more of that liquid glue to adhere down our stamped bit, and then I am going to use some foam tape on our little chick to put him down. I love it. It says feeling upside down, permission, it's okay not to be okay, and then our little chick is upside down in there, and it says turn sunny side up. Our card base was cut to 6 inches by 6 inches and scored at 3 inches. I'm going to put my other little chick on the inside of the card, and I am going to stamp one more sentiment that says chirp up friend. Super cute. Those all come from that Slimline Chicks stamp. And then I will be ready to adhere my card panel to my card base, just using some more of that liquid glue. I did reinforce that edge using the Ergonomic bone folder. And then for a final bit of embellishment, I am going to bring in some Seabreeze opal confetti along with my tidy tray, and then I'm going to just adhere those down using my crystal katana and my Nuvo Deluxe liquid glue. Just using those, I'm putting them all over the place. They're actually very, very subtle on that background, but I think that makes them even better. And then now I want to make an envelope to match. So I have used that same kind of cardstock that I used for my frame. I'm cutting out the base, and you need 2 sides. That's it. And then you just reinforce those edges that are scored into it. And I like to use liquid glue. That is a very strong adhesive. I haven't had a lot of luck with score tape unless you use score tape and the liquid glue. But if you're going to do that, you might as well just use the liquid glue. So I am adhering that down, making sure that it is where it needs to be and that it is nice and adhered. I like that this Nuvo Deluxe gives you a little bit of wiggle room, but then it does dry pretty quickly. And then now I'm going to adhere the centers together. So we'll adhere that right panel to the left panel, adhere the bottom part, just making sure everything is nice and good, nice and secure. And then once that's all ready to go, I'll show you my card. I love how this turned out, super fun. Love the Love Dani Studios line. So many great stamps in there. And then this little mini Slimline will fit into our mini Slimline envelope. Super great. And this will go through the mail with just 1 stamp. How awesome is that? All right. So if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And be sure to check out all that Trinity Stamps has going on over on their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, and their Instagram, and the blog. And as always, have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Bye.